Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to film a video on how I do my makeup for work. I don't really get too crazy, but I like to still kind of look nice and fresh throughout my day, especially if I'm going somewhere after work. I don't want to feel like I need to bring all my makeup with me because then that would mean that I'd have to take my whole day off and start all over, and that's just too much work, and your girl is lazy. So if you're interested in how I make my makeup prevent from shifting during my shift, dad jokes, then just keep watching. So first things first, I mentioned this before, I have super dry skin, so I just make sure I moisturize my skin because I don't know what they do with the humidity in the hospital. I'm assuming they try and make it not as humid as possible, but my skin just dries out like no other, and then that kind of gives me those lines and it makes me all look all like flaky and just not good. If you don't have super dry skin, then don't even worry about it, but that's just something that I definitely have to do every time I work. So after moisturizing, I've come to love the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. Now I have this little one because I didn't think I was gonna like it. I didn't wanna love it, but I love it there. But it kind of keeps my skin feeling hydrated and not clogged because it's not really all silicone-y, it's just super silky. So I put this bad boy on. 1 second. Okay, so the next, once that primer's on, I like to go in with my foundation, and I have a couple foundations that I really like. I always like to test out new foundations. I want to kind of get back into the whole clinical trials, actually showing you guys foundations that work. But the one that I find that I really like, that is inexpensive and doesn't feel too drying on my skin but lasts a while, is Maybelline 24 Hour Superstay Foundation, and I have the shade Classic Ivory. I love applying it with a beauty sponge just because I feel like it adds or helps me retain a little bit more moisture, and I feel like it really gets the foundation in there and makes it look a little bit more fresh and not too cakey, because I mean, after all, you want to be professional. You're in a work environment. The hospital isn't exactly somewhere where you need to be looking like super glam, like you're about to go onto the red carpet, but this kind of makes it seem like you've got that second skin. I really like the L'Oreal sponge or the original Beauty Blender. I'm gonna be doing the Beauty Blender right now. So I take a few pumps of this, usually like 2.5, and I'll add more if I need to. And then let's speed this up because nobody needs to see me applying my foundation. So 1 second. Okay, so there it is, one coat nicely applied. I love this foundation because it just really gets in there and it doesn't look too drying, but it lasts all day. I love it, and it's only like $9 a bottle. So anyways, moving on from foundation, I normally, if I'm going out, if I'm doing something, I'll put on concealer, like I'll really brighten up the underneath of my eyes. I don't like doing that when I'm working because first off, I make like a lot of facial expressions when I'm there. I'm putting on masks, taking them off, all that stuff. So I don't really feel the need to have it just because I feel like it's just gonna crease more underneath and it's just gonna make me look even more tired by the end of the day. I don't really put powder on my face. That's the mistake I used to make. I used to always set my foundation with powder because I figured, you know, it'll kind of keep it from moving and it's kind of that extra protective layer, but that's what was causing me to feel really dry and flaky. So I do apply a little bit of powder and I'll show you what I do. What I like to do is take a very light powder. I really have been loving this ILIA Fade Into Soft Focus Finishing Powder, and I will take a brush and I will literally only put it on my eyelids and underneath my eyes just a little bit. Sometimes I'll even kind of go like onto my jaw and chin area because I sit like this, or you know, so then it's constantly getting on my hand, and it's not even really more for protecting my makeup because I feel like whatever, if I'm missing some right here, it's not a big deal. It's just I just hate getting my makeup on my paperwork and stuff. So I really like this one. It's very light, and the reason I put it on my eyes is because I don't really have many lashes, but they're fairly long. So when they kind of hit my orbital bone up here, or eventually somehow my mascara gets transferred up here, my coworkers are always telling me like, girl, wipe your eye. But this kind of prevents it from happening as much. It still happens, but just not as much. So I just take a little bit on here and I just kind of put it on like this. It's a very light dusting. It's nothing crazy. I still put on a little bit of eyeshadow, so it's not, you know, the end of the world if I don't even put this on. I just feel like then the eyeshadow just gets a little messed up too. And just a little side note, another one I really love is the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. I have like minis because I want to try all of these, but this one is so hard to get out since it's the mini. It's only got like 3 little holes, and in the morning I don't feel like messing with popping this open. Maybe that's my little project of the day, is popping it open and keeping it open. Okay, so the next thing that I do is my eyes. I don't like to get all crazy with my eyes. I usually just take a little bit of my bronzer, depending on how dark I am, and kind of add some depth to my eyes. Just so that way I have like a little shape. And literally there's no structure to it. It's just really like put it on and that's it. I do use actual eyeshadow too, but again, it's not much, and I'll show you which one I use in 1 second. I kind of rotate between palettes. I really love the Tartelette in Bloom palette because it is pretty neutral, and I clearly really love the Smarty Pants one. I'll usually use this one as well, which is the Flower Child, and then I'll use this one, and if I'm feeling like real saucy and crazy, if I had a whole bunch of coffee in the morning, I might go into this one. Okay, so that's literally like all I do for my eyes. It's nothing too insane. If I am going somewhere afterwards, then I might do like a little pop of, you know, shimmer, but usually I just keep it pretty matte, and mostly it's just to protect my eyelids from getting super oily. The rest of my face is pretty dry, but my eyelids always get super oily. So next I go into kind of sculpting my face a little bit. I like to kind of just contour just a little bit, nothing too crazy. So I'll use my Essence bronzer again, and then I do go into Hoola depending on how tan I am. I do have self-tanner on, so I'm gonna probably go in with Hoola. And then I like to add a little bit of color to my cheeks, so I like to use different blushes, but this one has been my favorite lately, and it's the Milani Luminoso. A good OG. Now listen, this part is very important. If you need to get a doctor's attention to get some orders, you gotta become a human flashlight, basically. So you gotta use the highlight. Like the Lunch Money from Colourpop, and I like to use it actually with my beauty blender because it kind of gives you that glow from within. And then sometimes I will go over with a powder highlight as well, just because it does fade throughout the day. So I just kind of go in with that. And then I'm just going in with Becca, Opal from Becca. All right guys, so we're almost done. So I just have my eyes and my eyebrows left, very minimal. I don't even do a winged liner, nothing like that, because eventually the wing is lost throughout the shift. So I just use a little bit of liquid liner. My lashes look a little bit more fuller, so I really like this NYX Epic Liner. Another really good like shift-proof one is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner. So, 1 second. And then my mascara, I just love, there's a couple that I love. I love the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. I really, really, really love this Lashcraft Big Volume Mascara from Sephora. There's a few of them that you kind of have to be careful with because they smudge even more throughout your shift. And again, if you're wearing masks, like isolation masks a lot, and you kind of have that humidity coming through right onto your eyes, then you're just gonna be coming out of that room looking really raccoony. Last but not least, or actually second to last but not least, is my eyebrows. I love to use either the ABH pencil, or I like this NYX, I think it's called the Micro Pencil or Microbrow Pencil, and then I top it off with the Dipbrow Gel in medium brown. So this is gonna take me a while, so I will be right back. Okay, we're done. And to seal everything off, I use my one and only Urban Decay All Nighter Spray, a couple spritz of this, and you're good to go. And I feel like this is really what kind of helps lock everything in, along with everything that we've done. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you guys have any favorite type of foundations that you like to use that last very long, that are pretty comfortable to wear all day, or if there are any foundations that you want me to test in like a clinical trial. So hopefully I'll be filming those a lot sooner, or a lot more. And I just feel like it's always like, okay, I have to make sure I check in and like all that stuff. Sometimes it just gets super crazy during my shift. But even like a check-in or a review at the end of the shift isn't too bad. So I'll try and get better at that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.